co-host of Gateway to Freedom with his other host, Josh Wessler. He'll be on a little bit later in the show. I'd like to bring up Rich to the stage. Hey, Rich, how are you?
I am doing great, Nathan. Thank you very much for doing this and having us on.
Yeah, Rich, I know that you hold a couple of meetup groups here in St. Louis that followed your entire career for a long time now. You've been extremely successful in real estate. You've done flips. You're hosting this giant Gateway to Freedom event. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about the Gateway to Freedom and what your thoughts were when you put this whole thing together?
Yeah, I've gone to other real estate investing conferences around the country and was always just awe inspired about how amazing they are. The combination of having speakers and just people that maybe you've never met before that you get to connect with. Really amazing thing. But the thing is, you always have to travel to Vegas or LA or San Antonio or Chicago or Dallas or Miami or somebody like that, somewhere like that, to go to something like this. So I thought, well, you know what? We've got an amazing pool of real estate investors here in St. Louis. Why not tap into that? Why not reach out to the folks I know, folks that my close circle know, to see if they would be interested in speaking at our event? And what went through my mind was at December of last year, at one of my meetups, I had like a panel of we invited all of our speakers for the year back, and most of them made it. And we had panels of speakers, and we had the most incredible attendance to that. And that just solidified my resolve that I have got to throw a conference like this coming up this year. So Josh and I tag teamed and built this together. And it's been an amazing experience. And we are so we can't believe it's just barely a month away.
What was it that along your real estate journey that has helped you to be the most success, the point that you've gotten to now? I mean, you've got lots of people that come to all your meetup groups. You've done, lots of flips in the St. Louis area. What do you think is the one thing or the one piece of advice that just separates some of the things that you do versus maybe what some of those who are getting started in real estate or somebody like to learn a little bit more about real estate? What is it that separates you?
Yeah, so well, I don't know if it separates me so much, but I try to work with integrity. I try to do everything I do, honestly and openly. And when my wife and I started our business, I told her I wanted to look in the mirror every day and be able to look at the guy in the mirror and not be ashamed of who that is. So I like to be. I like to work with integrity. I like to be transparent. Maybe sometimes people would say I'm overly transparent, but I am transparent in what I do and how I do things. And I just love building, making relationships and building rapport with people. Like when I go to a house and walk through a house or whatever, I love actually making that connection with the person too. So I don't know if those are necessarily the keys to my success, but I really think they're big drivers in what I do. And I can be a stubborn son of a gun. And I don't give up. I don't quit. I do believe in the mantra that, you don't fail until you quit.
Yeah, for sure. What makes this Gateway to Freedom event so different and special compared to other things that have been out there in the market?
Yeah. So St. Louis, St. Louis is seen, and it's often a spot for any national guru type of national speaker sets that come through, and they'll do a few nights here and there at different St. Louis hotels or whatever. And I've been a part of those. I've attended those as well. With Gateway to Freedom, this is the first time, at least that I know of, where an event, and especially here in St. Louis, I mean, I've talked to old timers, no offense needed, and newbies alike, and I've been around in the industry since 2005, but this is the first time that anything like this is being held in St. Louis, where you've got a weekend full, 17 speakers coming.
Holy cow.
Yeah, not only that, the part I think that makes it different is that 16 of those 17 speakers are actually here in St. Louis. They live here, they work here, they do business here, they invest here. And you don't see that anywhere else. You go out to Vegas to one of those mega shows. Yeah, it's going to be a great show. It's going to be an awesome experience. It really is. But they're from everywhere, right? Here, we're talking about people from St. Louis, pouring into the room, giving back to St. Louis right here in St. Louis.
Yeah. Chuck Beckham actually had a comment here. Do you know any investors that invest in duplexes in St. Louis? And if Chuck went to Gateway to Freedom, is he going to get to learn anything about how to invest in duplexes if they're successful?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to have speakers there that have experiences. You're also going to run into other attendees there that have experience in duplexes as well. And it just depends on your angle, right? If you're looking to house hack, or are you looking to rent both sides? I mean, specifically what you're looking for. But yeah, I guarantee you somebody's going to be there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, in this event, I've been to a number of these different speaker conferences, and it seems like everybody's got a different, hard close that they use at the different conference, and they want you to buy a package or whatever. How is this event going to be? What's the experience going to be like for attendees?
Yeah, and that's actually, Nathan, that's one of the things that is going to set us apart. So I've been to, like I said, several conferences, and I'm sure a lot of your listeners have too, and viewers have too. But when you go to those conferences, it's like first day is jam packed with information. That's great. Second day, and maybe just a sprinkle of the package. And the second day is like, okay, a third of the day is talking about their package and their mentorships, and the last day is almost 3/4 is talking about their mentorship. And with Gateway to Freedom, we don't have an overall mentorship package to sell you. So we're not going to, that's not the angle we're taking. We're bringing together a community of people to learn about real estate investing, whether they're all from the St. Louis area as far as the attendees go, or they're from all over the country. It doesn't matter. The point here is you got people with expert experience, and each one of the speakers might have their own mentorship package or their own coaching program or something like that. And we're going to give them each maybe 5 minutes at the end of their presentation to pitch it. But that's it. It's not going to be this heavy sale filled conference. And that's what's going to sell us apart.
Yeah, see, that's the thing that I love about you and what you've done here in St. Louis, Rich, is that from everything I've known about you since you started your meetup groups here in St. Louis, you have been value first. You have been nuts and bolts. How do I do this? How do I make myself successful if I decide that real estate is the right journey for my life? And the same way I know that St. Louis is the gateway to the West, I'm certain that this Gateway to Freedom conference is going to be the gateway to people's freedom here in the Midwest. And so I have another question that's being asked. When and where is the event being held?
Oh, that's fantastic. Appreciate that. That's November 4th and 5th. This coming up. So that's 5 weeks away. November 4th and 5th here in St. Louis. It's in South County, St. Louis. And it's a place called the Aviator Hotel and Suites. It's right at, if you're from St. Louis, you'll know it. It's at Lindbergh and 55. If you're not from St. Louis, it is an easy trek from the airport or somewhere else. It's right off the interstate. So it's actually really easy to get to as well. A great, safe location. And it's great. Yeah, here in St. Louis, November 4th and 5th.
That's awesome. Appreciate that. What are some things as we wrap up here, Rich, because we've got a number of great speakers to get to today. What are some things that people should be prepared for, and what should they know prior to coming to this event? What do they need to have, bring with them, and how do they get tickets?
Yeah, so I would say bring an open mind. And I would also say check your preconceived notions at the door, because I've been doing kind of some Facebook Lives with some of our speakers this past week as well. And a couple of the folks that I talked to have been around for a long, long time. And I've been asking all of them, kind of a similar, like, why would somebody come to this conference? Even if they've been around for 20 something years or more. And it's like, look, you gotta check your ego at the door. You're going to learn something at this event. But what I would tell people is bring with them is a positive attitude, open mind, and a willingness to learn, but not only learn from the speakers that are on that stage, but learn from any of the other attendees that are there as well. They might have a nugget that you never even thought of, or that, wow, I completely forgot that. I've been doing this 20 years and I never thought about doing it that way. So bring an open mind and a positive attitude. And yeah, that's what, and you can expect to, I guarantee you're going to learn something over the weekend.